You go back. So that night I popped up there and I took one of those tablets. Bam! I let one go and I hit one of the vehicles. It goes pink, 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 pink. All the lights in the compound go out. It was a firefight. They kicked the doors open. The air rifles are looking at us, and we're going, "Gee, Jimmy, like what's going on? What happened?" And they just look at us and they close the doors and they leave. And I was like, "Holy smokes!" And this guy comes out with a metal detector, but it's not a regular metal detector. It's an old Vietnam era minesweeper. Got a backpack on. That's the big round thing on the front. And he's going over our clothes. So anyway, we're back at the embassy, and we're up there for about a month or so. And I remember it's like about April, mid-April, late April
Of 1980?
of 1980. They have us up in this room, and they had this old big school desk, just Rocky, I, and Jerry. It's a small room, and there's one of those big old oak desks back in the old day. You know, like when I went to school, they had these oak desks. They were like 500 pounds. Well, all the drawers were gone. I took all the drawers out of them. So I'm looking back there, and for some reason, I just keep looking back there one night. I don't know why I never paid attention. I reached back there, and I reached back in the corner, and I look, and I pull out, and there's a handful of rubber bands, thick, nice, long rubber bands. I go, cool. So I start linking them together. Pluck goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "What do you think I'm doing?" He goes, "Don't do that. You're going to get us in trouble. They're going to come here and pound us. You're going to get us in trouble." I go, "Whatever." So I link them together, all the rubber bands, and I fold them over, get a couple of pencils because they give you pencils and stuff, and if you want to write home or something. And so I took the pencils, some pens, and I made a slingshot. So they used to give us, they used to come in the room and they'd give us vitamins. They were Geritol.
Geritol.
Geritol
The
tablets.
Iranians were giving them to you?
Yeah, but it was Americans used, everybody used them, but it was Geritol tablets. They were vitamins they used back here, and they'd give them out. But it was the kinds we would take. It was like over a certain age you would take them, and they were hard capsules. Now they're gel caps, I guess. But so anyway, they put them on, gave them to us, and we just put them on tables. We didn't take them, they were for us, and they smell like iron. So Jerry would take them. Jerry Plugman, because he was like 50 then. He was 50 years old. So great guy. But he he just put him in a pile. So I go, yeah, yeah. So it got dark. He's go, "What are you gonna do with that?" I mean, it's like, "Oh, you're gonna get us in trouble." And Rocky goes, "That's cool." So that night they turned the lights off inside, and then the lights are out. And then there was a window in there, but there was a parapet that the U.S. Embassy put in place so they wouldn't sniper in. So it was a parapet in the middle. It was 1/4 inch steel all the way around, and then they had rocks and sand inside. So, but there was a window, and you could step out the window sill, and the window up on top opened out. So we had that window just sitting open. We could listen and stuff and get the cool air come in there. And so I pop up there at night when they turn the light. We waited about a couple hours. We got up there. It's probably like 11:30 at night or something like that.
You're not bound at this point. You're
No,
just okay.
we're just in the room sitting there at that time. And so we get up there and we pop up. We're looking up, and I grab a bunch of those capsules. I drop them into the parapet, and then I grab the slingshot. I look out, and all the staff vehicles are still parked out there behind us, behind the embassy. So I'm looking out behind the embassy, and then there's the building comes this way in an L shape. And we should go up there and look before that was happening. You could see one of the guards. He would come out and he'd walk out, and he'd step out from the shadows, and he'd look around. And he'd have his GW rifle and a radio. He'd go back. So that night I popped up there and I took one of those tablets. Bam! I let one go and I hit one of the vehicles. It goes pink, 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 pink. He kind of looks out a little bit like that, and I take another one. I go, "Tick, bing!" It goes pink, pink, and he walks out a little more, but he's like, look around. He don't really know what it is. Rocky goes, "Give me that. It's my turn." So he grabs it. Rocky takes, he reaches the parapet and he takes back. He lets loose. Bam! He hits a window. Pop! Shatter! Window falls on the ground. He takes another one real quick. He goes, pop! Shatter! Another vehicle hits the ground. Guy comes out, got his rifle, and he goes, "Commando America E! Commando America E!" Saying, "American commandos, American commandos." He's yelling. All the lights in the compound go out. It was a firefight. Tracer rounds flying everywhere. They were shooting at each other. We're sitting there watching, ducking to make sure it didn't hit us. It went on for like 15 minutes.
They were shooting at each
At
other.
each other.
Because they thought that American commandos
Right,
had
commandos were
arrived.
coming on the rounds because that guy's going, "Commando America E!"
And that's because of you guys.
Just because of Rocky.
Because of Rocky?
And it wasn't there years later. We were somewhere. I go, "Remember when we did that thing on the window?" He goes, "Yeah." And I go, "How'd you pop him with just those tablets?" He goes, "I didn't. When I reached in, I felt the rocks, and I shot rocks at him." I go, "Oh my god!"
Wow.
So I was like, "Holy crap!"
Did that ever get published on the news or anything?
No, no. But it's in somewhere. It's written somewhere, a couple places. But
That's crazy.
But so I just remember that all finished, and we just jumped down on the floor, and we just had blankets. We're laying on our blanket. They kicked the doors open. The air rifles are looking at us, and we're going, "Gee, Jimmy, like what's going on? What happened?" And they just look at us and they close the doors and they leave. And I was like, "Holy smokes!" And then 3 days later, they come and grab us upstairs and drag us down to the basement. They go, "Strip, strip down. So we stripped down, and they used to tell us strip all the time, but they always told you to leave your underwear on. So we stripped all the way down to our underwear, except for Rocky. Strips right now. There was like the three of us, and there's like six or seven more people in the room lined up against the wall, hostages, and a couple of Marines, and there was some mostly embassy staff,
Yeah.
and they have us up against this wall.
Did you know the embassy staff fairly
Yes,
well?
yeah, pretty
Were
much.
there were women there too,
There were
weren't
women there too, but there were no women when we saw them there. They only kept two women, and we never saw them.
Okay.
So they let a bunch of them go early. Let a bunch of people go early. A bunch of
Okay.
Marines and other staff, and so they said strip, so we stripped down, except for Rocky. Rocky strips all the way down to his birthday suit. They're going, nah, Rocky Sickman, please don't put your underpants on, Rocky Sickman. And they got their pointing their guns, and in the back of the room, there's like 10 guys back there with rifles just standing there. And the other guys in front are tagging with rifles. They're going, put your under around Rocky Sickman. He says, all right. So Rocky turns around, spins around, bends over, gives him a full moon, bends over, grabs his underwear, puts him.
Oh my God. This dude was living life on the edge. He just didn't care.
We didn't care. None of us cared at that time. I was already gone. We said, nobody's coming for us. They threaten to kill us all the time. What are they doing? Why we're still here? Who knows when it's going to happen?
On a regular basis?
Not at that time in the beginning. In the beginning, mostly, yeah. In the beginning, a lot. After, no. And a lot of people didn't get beat. Only certain people did. Only for whatever happened.
You being one of them.
Me, one of them, most of the time, because I fought back a lot. Most of my problem was you'd be blindfolded, they'd be taking you to the bathroom, and they'd like shove you into a wall, and I was like, that's it. Boom. And I turn around and just start fighting, and 5, 10 guys would jump on you and beat you and drag you back, and then you're like done. So, yeah. So I caused that a lot of myself. But I learned quick that when you got 5 or 6 guys pounding on you and you're done and you can't move and you're pissing blood for 2 months, it's not really beneficial to me or anybody else.
Yeah.
So
anyway, Rocky's putting his underwear.
So he puts his underwear on and he stands there, and this guy comes out with a metal detector, but it's not a regular metal detector. It's an old Vietnam era minesweeper. Got a backpack on. That's the big round thing on the front. And he's going over our clothes. I go, what the heck? And then I look over in the middle of the room, and there's 2 boxes, and there's our shoes, and they have all the heels pop off them. And then all our watches and stuff they had, they're all taken apart, and they're just laying there on the ground. And then the guy, he's got this little guy with him, walking with him, and he's got this book. And he passes me, and I look and I see it, and I go, what the heck? And I notice it right away. I'd seen it before. And then he goes back and he comes back, and I go, Rocky, he goes, yeah. So it was like one of those books, a James Bond book with all the gadgets.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So
with
they thought you guys had like guns in your shoes or something?
Yeah,
crazy?
guns or devices, listening devices, or I don't know what, or watches, shoes. Yeah, so they were checking all that stuff out. And then they were going over our regular clothes because I don't know if information was getting out somewhere or things were going or who knows what was going on, because then they did that. So go get dressed. So at this time, we're wearing handcuffs. I didn't tell you about my first escape attempt.
So you had what month did you try to escape?
So that's right, very early. So probably December.
Okay, so about a month after you first got captured.
Yeah. They were taking us back and forth to the embassy one by one, taking us to rooms. Whose office is this? How do you open that safe? And they've already rifled me. You can see what's going on. Blindfolded, and I'll take you in, and then they take it on. What's this? Who's that? Whatever. They already knew everything because somebody had already gave them all the information, told them who CIA guys were, told them all that stuff. We always told them, there's no CIA here. I always told them, they never got anything out of us. Never. And, but one person did. Military person. And, it wasn't a Marine. Wasn't Air Force. Wasn't Navy. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, so anyway, they were taking us back and forth to the embassy. And then they keep taking me back to this room with a bunch of other guys that I kept sitting in. And they take us one more time back and forth. So one night they brought me back, and they didn't put me, I counted my steps, and they put us in these we were in these little cottages that are on the compound. So I was in the first cottage with the other hostages. And then one night they took me out, and I'm counting my steps, and I made a quick right, like where I'm supposed to make my left and go into the cottage. They kept walking me, and then they took me into like the second cottage, and they opened the door, and then they turned me, and they opened the door as soon as you walk in, and they shoved me in. So I'm standing there going, what's going on? So I pull off my hood. I'm looking around, and there's carpet on rugs on the floor. There's a tin on the floor with some bread and some dates and stuff like that. So I walk around, I look out the window, I don't see anything, nothing out there. I walk around the other one, and there's a bed in there still. Wherever we went, they always took everything out. And then I'm between the bed and the wall and the window, and I'm looking out, and I go, "What the heck is going on?" So I walk back over, and then I hear something down the hall, and I go, "Oh, crap." So I run around, and I get between the window and the bed, and I duck down. I just kinda sit there like this. Door opens, and a bunch of females come in, and they look over at me, and they go, "Salam alaikum." They go, I go, "Salam, salam." And they sat down, and they kinda didn't look at me. They just because they're not gonna look at me, pay attention to me.
Iranian
Iranian
women?
female, yes, in full chador. So they sit down on the floor, and they start eating some dates and stuff, and they brought some drinks and with them, some tea and stuff, and they were sitting there eating.
And what were you in that room for?
I have no idea. I'm still not figuring it out. So
They're like, "Here, let's put him in a room with a bunch of women." That doesn't
yeah.
make any
No,
sense.
but I don't know if they knew I was coming. I don't know what they were doing. And
There
I don't
was a
think the women because of
miscommunication
the
on their
women
part.
talked to me because they thought I was one of them. Dark
Really?
hair, dark whatever, and they thought I was one of them, and they talked to me like I was one of them, and I was over there between the wall, and I was just hiding back there looking, and they had no idea. So they just sat and they ate some bread and dates and stuff and drank the tea, and then they got up and left. I was like, "That was weird."
Yeah, I would say that's the weirdest,
Yeah.
like, that's a weird
So it's like a
situation.
bunch of sheets, dark sheets and stuff in the corner. I go, "What the hell?" So I go over and I grab one and I throw it on and I pull it over and I open the door and I look down the hall and you could hear the TV going on and Ronnie's talking back there and stuff. And I go, "What the heck's going on?" So I walk out, I open the front door and I walk out and I start going down towards the front gate where you come in and out. And there's all kinds of lights and stuff all over the place, and guys milling and walking around. And I start walking towards the front gate. And nobody ever asked me this. I had to tell it myself. Nobody ever asked, "Did you ever do this? Did you ever do that?" No, I had to tell it. I go tell my talks and stuff like that. So I start walking towards the front gate, and this guy looks at me. He's got a G3. And he's looking at me, and he's a Posturon, and he's looking at me, and I go, "What the heck?" And then he stops, and he starts to look at me, and he goes, and I'm trying not to look at him. I'm trying to act like I'm, whatever, because like a female covered,
Yeah.
but I got camouflage pants on and no shoes.
Oh, yeah, there's no way,
I'm
yeah.
not covered all the way. So he looks at me, and next thing I hear something behind me. I can hear something up behind me, and then bam, back of the head again.
Oh,
I'm out. So I get back, taken back, and I get put in a room by myself, a different room, and this time I've got handcuffs on.
oh, okay.
Before they were just tying our hands with rope and stuff or cloth, and I said I had cloth on. They tied me with some cloth, and then shortly after that, I just remember they came in and it was I'm getting a little ahead of myself. It was the Red Cross, people from the Red Cross. They were speaking French to the Iranians. Were speaking French to them. They were in suits and they had the Red Cross bands on, and they want to take pictures. And then one tried to talk to me, and he goes, "Don't to speak, don't to speak." And I said, "Whatever, don't talk." And I was type of thing. And then they left. And then shortly after, I was like, that night they came in and they put handcuffs on us. It wasn't because of me escaping. It was because of a guy named Malcolm Kelp, former Green Beret, working for one of the agencies, but was at the embassy. And I think he escaped like several times. And the last time he got pretty far, and they captured him, brought him back.
Oh,
And
he
then,
got out,
oh yeah,
and then they brought him
brought
back?
him back. And then and that's the story that I've been told. And
Yeah,
great guy. And then they brought handcuffs and put us all in handcuffs.
because of him.
I think so because of him. Yes.
He probably got beat pretty bad
Oh
when he
yeah,
got
yeah,
back.
yeah.